Hello everybody and welcome to this Introducing Geoteric 2019.2 session. My name's Benjamin Heap. I'm a geoscientist here at Geoteric and I'll be taking you through this session today. If you have any questions as we go along, please drop them in the comment box below and we will address them at the end of the presentation. 2019.2 was introduced earlier this year following the release of 2019.1 at the end of last year. Today, we'll have a quick recap of what was available in 2019.1, some of the usability improvements that are available in 2019.2, and then again, some of the new features that can be found in Geoteric 2019.2. So, Geoteric 2019.1 brought a large change to the Geoteric lineup, with a new interface and a variety of new features. So, the first thing that was brought in was the ability to use a fault detect volume to automatically extract fault sticks. So for those of you who are familiar with Geoteric, a fault detect volume could be run on, for example, a CNY color blend generated from the fault expression tool. Then this could be used to automatically extract fault sticks to reduce the time of manual picking and to make workflows easier. There were also some updates to the fault interpretation workflow. These included filtering and rose plots, so your fault sticks could be filtered via characteristics such as azimuth, dip, and length, for example. If you had a 3D scene that was full of fault sticks, these could be clipped to a plane to aid grouping them and just make your life easier. Fault stick grouping and unassigned fault sticks were brought in just to better manage all your fault sticks within your project. There were some other usability updates as well. Hydrocarbon volume height maps were brought in as a delineation of your prospects and to give you a quantitative idea of your prospect. So, Geoteric 2019.2 has focused on two key areas, performance and usability, to improve the user interaction with the software. The first thing that has been updated is that Geoteric 2019.2 is now fully cloud-friendly. This means it can take advantage of increased and varying amounts of memory and number of CPUs, both of which can be controlled by the user upon opening a Geoteric project. This comes at a time when on-premise or public cloud distributed computer infrastructure is become more popular and in some cases a routine part of a company's workflow. Geoteric 2019.2 is now fully supported for high DPI screen resolutions, so these can go up to both 2K and 4K to make the most of your in-house hardware. The high definition frequency decomposition performance has also seen an increase. So again, for those of you who are familiar with Geoteric, you'll know how impressive our HDFD software is and how it can also be quite computer resource intensive. However, in Geoteric 2019.2, this has been optimized to run an average of 50% faster than previous releases, and is again scaled for both local desktops and any cloud architectures you may have. Some usability updates. So fault stick filtering has also been improved. So this was initially introduced in Geoteric 2019.1, and following some user feedback, this has seen a slight change. So previously, all sticks that matched the filtering criteria were moved to the filtered set, regardless of whether or not they were visualized in the 3D scene. Now, however, only visualized fault sticks will be moved to the new fault set, and by default, once filtered into a new set, the sticks will be removed from the 3D scene, and fault sets will not be visualized by default, or made active by default. The filtering user face has also been updated. I'll give a quick live demo of this later, but you can see this in the bottom right of your screen now. So you have your filters at the top and any other filter properties displayed on the left, where you can add and subtract them from here when need be. Some other usability updates. So the fault stick interpretation workflow has also seen some improvements. So again, following some user feedback, this has been what's driving these. So we've improved the fluidity of your fault stick interpretation. So you can now continue to interpret further fault sticks after a double click. And it will keep you in the interpretation tool. So this is the new fault stick tool here. And then you can move through your time slice in a timely manner. When in any other tool, a double click will take you to the hand/movement tool. So if you are, for example, gluing two fault sticks together or deleting a section of a fault stick, a double click will take you to the hand and movement tool so you can QC your work and then identify the next area that needs improvement or tapering. The controls are now available in both the 3D scene and the 2D interpretation window, and these two work in unison so you can QC your work as you go through. In a similar fashion to the fault sticks, the horizon tracking workflow has also seen some improvements, again predominantly around some user feedback. So the 3D scene and 2D interpretation window now work with the toolbar as well, just like with the fault stick, so you can interpret in both simultaneously and they'll both update live. And there have also been some improvements in a similar fashion to the fault as well, whereby as you double click, you will stay in the new horizon picking mode. And in this mode, you can also use the central mouse wheel to flick between time slices. The video here shows how this can be done in the 3D window, whereby you can also manipulate the time slice during interpretation however you would like by zooming in and out. And then once your interpretation is complete, you can also QC your work. So far. The fault surface generation algorithm has also seen some improvements. So this has been improved so much that the workflow is now a better timely and consistent manner. So you now have the option in Geoteric 2019.2 to generate surfaces with smoothing. And again, if for those of you who are familiar with Geoteric and have used the surface generation in Geoteric 2019.1, you may have came across some artifacts at the top of default surfaces, which are also known as like the roofing artifacts. We believe this has now been addressed in Geoteric 2019.2, particularly with these smoothed surfaces. So across the board, performance has been improved by 98% through a series of test projects. I will give a live demo of this at the end as well. Your validate project can now be exported as a volume, whereby previously they were exported as an image with no data point associated to it. This enables further quantitative workflows and calibration of amplitudes between multiple models and allows for the combination of multiple validate sections into a single volume. This could then be used, for example, as an opacity blend against the original seismic or to be draped over a horizon. So you can choose your models to export, so the synthetic, for example, and the acoustic impedance. You then choose the extent to which you want your volume to be propagated to and the custom padding. So this will fill the slices around your section with some duplicate values. Once you've exported, these will then appear in the 3D scene and can be manipulated just like any other volume within Geoteric, as shown here. Some other key improvements. So the link to Petrel has been updated to now support Petrel 2019.2. And this can be found again in the top right of the window for those of you who are familiar with Geoteric. 14 legacy books have been fixed in 2019.2, and more information of these can be found in the software release part of our website. So I'll now jump into Geoteric to give you a live demonstration of some of the features we've discussed. Okay, so here we have a 2D time slice through a HDFD volume. I will now add some fault sticks into the scene. So if we go here. I just can't do the shorthand. Okay, so as I mentioned previously, with the fault interpretation options, these can be filtered. So if we open up a new filter window, we can add in a new filter and make it applicable to the 3D scene. So here we can choose to filter via azimuth and dip. So anything that appears in blue will be filtered. Like so. We can then also add in new parameters, for example, length. So if we say we only want to see faults over 300 meters, this will also then be updated accordingly. The fault sticks can be clipped to a plane. So if we choose to add a plane in, we can then choose the custom clipping distance, as so. And as you propagate through the volume, this clipping distance will also remain. So now if we try and generate a surface, we can choose down here to create surface with smoothing or create surface without smoothing. So if we choose now to create one with smoothing, it will appear again in our fault set tree, like so. You can then choose to change the crease angle of the surface, its transparency, and also the color of the surface, like so. So that concludes our presentation of what is new within Geoteric 2019.2. If you have any questions, you can now add them to the comment box below, and we will go through them in a second. Thank you. Okay, so we've had a question of, will you share the presentation slides? Yes, they will be available via the email link within 24 hours of this webinar. We've also had another one of what file types are available for fault stick export. So these are Charisma fault stick files. We've had another one. Are there any plans to release the AI approach for fault interpretation? I can't answer this off the top of my head, but at the moment, that is still just available as a service offering. Okay, so if you have any more questions, anytime, feel free to contact support@geoteric.com, and one of my colleagues, either in the technical team or the support team, will get back to you. Thank you everyone for tuning into today's webinar.